Sawadee. This week we're going to be working with our knees. More specifically, khao dtrong, straight knee, khao dtahd, horizontal knee, and khao chiang, side angle, 45 degrees knee. What's the difference between these three types of knees? I would say is the direction of the knee. Because where the knee points, there the knee goes.
With your knees, you must remember that the closer your heel is to your bum, the sharper the point of your knee. So you want to focus on bringing that heel as close as you can to your bum. Keep your toes pointed down and try and make the point of your knee as sharp as possible. If you leave it open and you end up striking, here you're striking with a bigger surface area which delivers less power. So you want to try and strike with the point. Keep that heel up. With your knees, there are variations in how people hold their guard. So if you are at a good distance and you're delivering a knee strike, for example from a jab and a cross, it's quite appropriate to use your hand to drive the hip forward. However, if you're a bit closer and you're in the danger zone of getting a strike yourself, then it's easier to keep your hand up, ensuring that nothing's coming through from the front towards you.
So the first knee that we're going to address is our khao dtrong, or straight knee. It's most often aimed at stomach, solar plexus, the thigh sometimes, in a clinch perhaps.
Again, your main target here is your body, your solar plexus. Really good weapon for winding your opponent, breaking ribs, because the knee is a very sharp surface. It can really do damage as you thrust through the body.
So, for our khao dtrong, we can or not open our front foot out at 45 degrees. Doing so allows more space for the hip to come through and to bring the power through. Another thing that you want to keep in mind is that you have to keep your C-section and your chin down. And a good way to make sure that your guard is not coming down is to just touch your forehead. You also want to make sure that you're exploding off your back foot. And remember, where your knee points, that's where your knee is going.
You'll see in Cremorio's demonstration he is stepping forward with his straight knee. This is a way of gaining distance with your knee. However, you also need to practice retracting your knee back to the original stance. This helps you focus on the thrust of your hip, and you rely on the power of your knee coming from your hip thrust rather than from your body moving forward. So practice both ways.
Again, remember to come up on the ball of your toes, and you need to thrust those hips forward. This is a similar action to what you were doing with your tip. You thrust forward. Now.
Alright, now that your hips are warmed up, let's try our khao chiang. Once again, all that changes is the direction of the knee. This one is often aimed for the ribs or the head, if it's close enough and if you're flexible enough.
So in my normal stance, it's very difficult to get a knee up to my head at a 45-degree angle or at any angle. However, if you've been able to knock me off balance so my head is off to one side, you can come through with a 45-degree angle knee. Again, your standing leg needs to open up and you come up on your toes.
For the khao chiang, for practice purposes, it's best to bring your leg back to your original stance. Let's give it a try. Imagine your legs like a compass and just going back to your stance. You don't want to cross your legs. It gives your opponent a chance to trip you if your legs come close together because you're off balance. If you'd like to strike with your front knee, all you have to do is change your stance, except you're going to land with your front foot already opened out at 45 degrees.
Your cow dart then is your cutting knee, so that's the one coming up on an arc so that you strike on the horizontal. Like you did with the dtahd, very much the same action with your hip. You start on a vertical, curve it around on the horizontal. Again, the target for your cow dart, mostly your body, also your thighs. Be careful with knees to the thighs, however, because it's quite easy to misplace them and strike the groin.
Let's give it a try.
So with this cow dart, you lift up, turn over your hip to strike on the horizontal before coming down on that arc.
These last two knees are very similar to the roundhouse kick, and a lot of fighters prefer to drop one of the hands to keep their balance. But you must remember that by doing that, you're exposing your face, at least on the one side, if your guard is up on the other. Right, just remember, it should be your choice to drop your hand, not a reflex. For practice purposes, it's best to practice keeping your guard up.
So your first exercise is your basic technique preceded by a jab. Your jab is used to check your distance in a fight. And in this case, your jab gives a good indication of the right distance for a knee. Your second exercise now involves switching your stance to deliver a knee with the other leg after you have used your jab to check your distance. Your third exercise is a jab cross, straight knee stepping forward into a side angle knee with your new rear leg. Your fourth exercise adds on the previous sequence. So you have a jab, cross, straight knee, stepping forward, side angle knee with your new rear leg, also stepping forward and following up with horizontal elbow. This exercise is an example of how you gain distance from your long to mid-range weapons of jab and cross. You're moving forward, ending with a close range weapon of your elbow.
Okay guys, to end off we've got 2 combos for you guys. So let's get to it. The first one starts with a block and then a lead tip. So you're using your front leg to do both. You can either put it down and then go for the tip, or you can merge one into the other. After that, you're firing a roundhouse kick from your back leg, and then you're bouncing off and firing the knee from your back leg again. And now you're landing in the opposite stance. And now you're going for a hook from your now front hand, and then you're ending up with an uppercut elbow. Your second drill, you're firing off a tip from your front leg and then bouncing off and going for a knee from that very same leg, and then ending with a horizontal elbow from your back hand. Let's give it a try.